Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hopefully you all will be fine. We are doing unit number 9, Force and Machines. Our lesson topic is simple machine, and in our previous lesson we have discussed screw and wheel and axle. In our today's lesson we are going to discuss last two simple machine, pulleys and wedge, and compound machines. Let's start our today's lesson. Pulleys. On page number 87. A pulley is a simple machine consisting of a rope or string wound around a groove wheel. Pulleys are used to pull objects up, down or sideways. Flagpoles, clotheslines, curtain rods, window blinds and cranes are examples of pulleys used in daily life. Let's start explanation. What is a pulley? A pulley is one of the 6 simple machines. It consists of a rope or string that is wound around a grooved wheel. A pulley is a wheel. This is a wheel, and this wheel carries a flexible rope. This is a rope or a string. This wheel carries a rope on its rim, and it is wound around a grooved wheel. Pulleys are used to pull objects up and down or sideways. For example, a pulley is used to pull water up from a well. A pulley makes our work easier because it changes the direction of motion to work with gravity. Some examples where pulleys are used are flagpoles, clotheslines, curtain rods, window blinds and cranes. The last one, wedge. A wedge consists of 2 inclined planes joined back to back, used to cut or split things apart. Knives, forks, nails, pins, your teeth, needles, saws and axes are some examples of wedge working in your daily life. A wedge exerts force to push apart 2 objects. What is a wedge? A wedge is a triangular shaped tool. This is a triangular shape. A wedge is a portable inclined plane in one of the 6 classical simple machines. A wedge consists of inclined plane. Inclined plane means it has a plane surface. It can be used to separate 2 objects or a portion of an object. It can also be used to lift up an object or hold an object in place. For example, a knife is used to cut things and a fork is used to lift up an object. A wedge exerts force to push apart 2 objects. It means a wedge can be used to separate 2 objects or a portion of an object. Wedge can also be used to hold things together, as in the case of a staple, pins and a doorstep. And some other examples of wedge are teeth, needle and saws. Last topic is compound machines. When 2 or more simple machines are put together, they make a compound machine. For example, a wheelbarrow is a compound machine. A wheelbarrow is made up of several simple machines: lever, inclined plane and wheel and axle. A bicycle is also a compound machine. The brakes and brake handles are levers. The seat adjustment is a screw. The wheels and pedals are wheel and axle systems. Let's start explanation. What is a compound machine? A compound machine is a machine that consists of more than one simple machine. Some compound machines consist of just two simple machines and other consist of more than two simple machines. A compound machine can do more difficult jobs than simple machine alone. A compound machine increases the mechanical advantage. With compound machine, a smaller amount of force can be used to move objects. A wheelbarrow is an example of a compound machine, and wheelbarrow is made up of three simple machines: lever, inclined plane, and wheel and axle system. A wheelbarrow is a combination of three simple machines. Another example of a compound machine is a bicycle. A bicycle is a compound machine that is made up of three simple machines: lever, screw, and wheel and axle system. The brakes and brake handles are lever because they rest and move on a spot or a fixed point. Next, seat adjustment is a screw because seat adjustment is an inclined plane. It has a slanting surface and it is wrapped around a cylindrical pole. In the last one, wheels and pedals are wheel and axle system. So, a bicycle is a combination of lever, screw, and wheel and axle system. So, it is a compound machine. Today, we will also revise our previous concept of unit number 7, the study of matter. In our previous lesson, we have revised question number 3 and question number 4 of part 5. And today, we will revise question number 5 on page number 73. Let's start our today's lesson. Question number 5, answer these questions. Fifth one, you have a mixture of sand, salt and iron fillings. How will you separate all the components of this mixture? Question statement is, if we have a mixture of sand, salt and iron fillings, how we will separate all these components from this mixture? And the answer is, the iron fillings can be removed by a magnet. The sand could be separated from the salt by mixing both with water and then filtering out the insoluble sand. The water could be evaporated to leave the salt. Let's start the explanation how we will separate different components from the mixture of sand, salt and iron fillings. First of all, iron fillings can be separated from this mixture by a magnet. Then sand could be separated from salt by mixing it with water, and then with the help of filtration process we will separate sand from water. And at last, salt can be separated from water with the help of evaporation process. Now we will do an experiment to understand this concept. This is salt, this is sand, and these are iron fillings. We will do an experiment to know how we can separate these components from a mixture. Now this one is the mixture of sand, salt and iron fillings. And how can we separate sand, salt and iron fillings from this mixture? Let's start the experiment. At first, we will separate iron fillings from this mixture with the help of magnet. This is a magnet, and magnets are used to separate magnetic materials from non-magnetic materials. Let's start. You can see iron fillings can be separated by a magnet. With the help of a magnet, we have separated iron fillings from this mixture. Because iron fillings are removed from this mixture, now this is the mixture of sand and salt. And now we can separate sand from salt by mixing it with water. Salt is soluble in water and sand is not soluble. We will dissolve this mixture in water. Then sand can be separated through filtration process because sand is not soluble in water. Salt is soluble and sand is not. And now we will do filtration process to separate sand from water. This is a filter paper and this is a funnel. Now the filter paper is folded into the shape of a cone and it is placed into a funnel. Now we will pour this mixture of insoluble sand and liquid through filter paper. Filter paper has tiny holes on it. The liquid part of the mixture passes easily through the tiny holes of the filter paper, and the insoluble sand particles, which are bigger than the holes of filter paper, will remain on it. In this way, we will pour all this liquid mixture onto a filter paper, and the liquid is passing easily through the filter paper. Now you can see sand particles which are bigger than the holes of filter paper remain on it. These are sand particles and this is called residue. The solid part of the mixture that remain on the filter paper after filtration is called residue. And the liquid part of the mixture that passes easily through the filter paper is called filtrate. This is filtrate, and now you can see sand is separated from water. In this way, with the help of filtration process, we have separated sand from liquid mixture. Now this liquid contains salt and salt is dissolved in it. We can separate salt from water through evaporation process. When we will heat the water, it changes into water vapors and the salt will remain in the beaker. In this way we can separate salt from water. Thank you so much.